Sadly, I'm still sick. The lost voice has returned, from wherever such things go when you lose them, but the sore throat has turned into a persistent, chesty cough. Not a persistent, chesty wench, which would be far more welcome. Safety tool talk came up again, so it's weirdly appropriate to be using technology to overcome a disability, however temporary. There was a rather good discussion on Jack, chronicler of the Northlands Channel, but the discussion was somewhat marred, I felt, by the fact that there were no strong advocates for safety tools on it. And nor did anyone seem particularly familiar with the examples of problems they have caused. Far Verona was not mentioned, and nor was the weaponisation of the safety tools at the UK Games Expo. There was also an accompanying discussion in some TTRPG Facebook groups, which went more as expected. So I just want to keep Algorithmo, god of social media, happy, and have a video of some kind to upload today, and to restate my stance on this in a somewhat concise form. As someone who is disabled, physically, and in terms of mental health, I find such tools patronising and condescending. I recognise that my issues are just that, my issues, and it is up to me to navigate them, not a task for the whole world to undertake on my behalf. I'm also acutely aware that conversation around a table cannot hurt me, and that it is a safe environment in which I can play with the concepts of my hang-ups and issues and gain resilience. However, this also takes place in the context of the GM not being my psychiatrist, and a healthy dividing line between reality and fantasy. If people want them in their own games and don't feel patronised or condescended to, bully for them, but my opinion, despite being disabled, is constantly dismissed. They also try, constantly and consistently, to impose these tools on others, making it not a matter of choice, but of peer pressure, bullying and forced requirement. There was something else in the tenor of the discussion that bothered me, and marks the re-emergence of the old puritanical right. That being the condemnation of safety tools, not on the merits or lack thereof, but because of their association with and emergence from BDSM sexuality, is not inherently evil. Kink is not inherently evil. It's not a valid criticism of safety tools to point at kinky people and use a false sense of guilt by association. Taking these things from BDSM is silly, because nobody is getting penetrated or slapped at the table. It's a misapplication. But knee-jerk reactions to things just because they're kinky isn't a valid critique. Zang.